Laurie came highly recommended from an agency that promotes different musicians, and that's how I learned about her. She drove all the way from Stillwater this morning on daylight savings to be with us today. So how we never get to see harp up close. So I'd love to have harp every year. So, and Laurie too. So thank you for joining us.
When I'm performing, so I hope that's okay, and I always love to have interaction with all of you. So if at any time you have questions for me, I love answering questions, as long as I know the answer. So I always like to start out with music that people recognize. Perhaps you have heard that song before. It's called Canon in D, and it's written by a composer named Pachelbel, and it's become a very popular song for weddings, so perhaps you heard it at a wedding recently. I like to start with a song that people recognize, and also a song that wasn't written for the harp. You can, as I work through my concert this morning, I'll kind of share with you how I adapt things for the instrument, how I kind of make a non-harp song sound more harp-like. So Canon in D was not written for the harp, but adapted for the harp by me this morning. A lot of times when I'm performing, I just kind of let the music speak and let God's gift of music come through. So oftentimes I don't play the same song the same twice, yes. So I'm now going to play for you a song called The Little Fountain, and this song was written for the harp, and you will hear just how full it is and how I can really just use up the whole harp when I play. This is a concert pedal harp, and this is the biggest harp that is made. I was 8 years old when I started on the harp, and this would be too big physically for an 8-year-old, but because I was so interested in the harp and pursuing it further, my parents knew that eventually I would want and then eventually need for my goals as a harpist, would need a harp like this. So when I was just a little girl, my parents put me on a wait list with the Lion and Healy harp manufacturer in Chicago. I waited 4.5 years for this harp that you see here today. I was on a wait list for 4 years, and then after the 4 years, I got a call from the representative in Chicago asking, you know, does Laurie still play a harp? Does she still want a concert pedal harp? And if so, what would I like? And so this is Bird's Eye Maple. It took one gentleman 6 months to build this harp just for me, so it's a pretty special instrument to me. I'll never forget the day that it arrived by truck. I just, you know, whatever was built for me was delivered, and when it arrived, it was wood and strings. And the soul that it has today is, you know, definitely what I've put into it over the years. So for me, there's just no harp like this in the world because it truly has become a piece of me. The concert pedal harp gets its name from the pedals that I have around the base of the instrument. I don't know if you're able to see my feet, or you can certainly come up afterwards, but I have 7 pedals around the base of the instrument that act like the black keys on a piano for you musicians out there. I get my sharps and my flats with my feet, and I will demonstrate that in the song after the Little Fountain. In fact, I will go from the Little Fountain into a song called Sparklers, and you will hear the difference in the sound when I move my feet. So the pedals are connected to rods that go up through the hollow column, and then there are thousands of moving parts inside the neck that turn and engage the string in 3 different ways. So like the black keys on a piano, or like the frets on a guitar. So I'm going to play my D string for you, and you'll hear the 3 different pitches that I can get from that string. So same string, just 3 different pitches. So first I will play the Little Fountain to show off the beauty of the harp, and then the song I play after that is called Sparklers, and that will show off how busy my feet can be. Could you hear the difference in the sound when I was changing the pedal? Yes, great. Do you have any questions for me at this point? Yes,
Do you often have to retune the strings like again?
This gentleman asked the question, do I often have to retune my harp strings like you do on a piano? Actually, I tune every time I play, and sometimes even in between songs. So I have a little tool that I always have on my bench so that if I hear that a string has changed because of the temperature, then I can, retune it myself. So they say a harpist spends half her time tuning and the other half of her time retuning. So great question. Any other questions?
I've got it.
Yes, I'm sorry? Yes.
How many strings are there?
The question was, how many strings do I have on my harp? This harp has 47 strings. And my strings are laid out like the white keys of the piano. My C strings are red and my F strings are black. And they're color-coded like that just so I know where I am when I'm looking at 47 strings. The middle register where I want a warm, rich tone is made out of gut. My lower strings are wire wrapped around a steel rod like you would have in the piano or a guitar. And then the upper register where I want a bright sound is made out of nylon. Great questions. Any others? Yes, right here.
How much does that weigh?
How much does my harp weigh? What would you guess?
I would have absolutely no idea.
Does anybody have an idea? 250. 250. Ooh. Good guess. Maybe I look stronger than I am. Oh. The body of the harp is actually hollow, and this harp weighs only 81 pounds, which isn't so bad, but it's just kind of awkward balance-wise. I have a little set of wheels that my dad made for me that I actually attach to the base of the harp, so it makes it really slick for going down a ramp or, just getting around. It's not a big deal unless I have snow and ice. So I'm definitely looking forward to sunnier, warmer days ahead. Great question. Yes, question.
Now for a personal question, can you
Personal.
share how much about it costs?
The question, the question is, what does the harp cost? What would you guess?
75,000.
75,000. Ooh, wow. And any other thoughts on what the harp is insured for? This harp is actually insured for 48,000. So you were high. I often have people guess, about a couple thousand. But so even though I've got it insured for that, and if something were to happen, I would be making a trip back to Chicago. But this harp has been on my shoulder for years and years. So, even though that would be replacement cost, it's priceless to me. So, great questions. Any others? How am I doing on time? We're okay? Play. Okay, play. Well, I've actually got like 3 hours of music that I could be playing for you this morning, so I'm going to narrow it down here. I always love to play songs that people recognize, so I'm going to play one of my favorite tunes from The Sound of Music. Do we have time for one Irish tune? A quick
Yes.
little jig? So I'm going to end then with an Irish tune since we're coming up on St. Patrick's Day. This is called Shebegan Shamor, and this is written by Turlough O'Carolan, who was the most famous of the Irish harpers. Imagine a much smaller harp, a Celtic harp, fewer strings, and no pedals around the base, but perhaps little levers that could be manipulated, you know, with my hand while I'm playing. So this is Shebegan Shamor, my final piece for today. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to share God's music with all of you.